Hey, Katrina here from ScrappyHorses. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, what a day this has been. I got up this morning thinking I'm going to jot down an idea I have for a project in Cricut Design Space. I'm just going to run upstairs really quickly, get that done before I take off and go to school. So I come up to Cricut Design Space and I start like I always do with my square. And I look up and I notice everything looks different. Okay, so I played around a little bit and then had to take off for school. Came home from school and decided to do a video to help anybody who might need a little bit of help figuring out where things are. So let's take a look at this. I've pulled up a square just sort of to give us something so we can tap on it. We can still make this go away, all right, just by clicking the little caret. I got my shape by clicking shapes, clicking the square, and there it appears. All right, so now I have a couple of squares I can play with. Let's start with these buttons right here. So to make it obvious as to what these buttons do, let's turn this into a rectangle just by pulling down for a minute. And let's change the color to pink for a minute. And the text is still right here. I'm just gonna bring this over and stick it right here. And I can still attach or group all of this by clicking over here, okay? Nothing over here has changed. It's all the same, so far anyway. So I'm gonna group that so you can see now what happens up here. All right, I click, all of this comes back. I can flip it vertically, and I can flip it horizontally. Okay, you see now why I needed to put the text there so that you could see that flip. The next little button we have moving left is arrange. This is our bring to the front, bring forward, send backward, send back. So if I bring my black square over and I want to bring that to the front, I can click this caret and say bring to the front. By the same token, I can right click and say move to the back, okay? Or right click and bring to the front. So you can still at this point right and left click this, or you can left click and use the arrange buttons here. Okay. All right, let's bring this over. This is selected. Here's our height button. Here's our width button. So let's say I want to turn this into a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, which is a standard US card for us. All right, I can just select this box. 4.25 is my width. I'm going to unlock and change this to 5 1/2. There we go. So now this is a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I can lock that back up. Now this is when I really sort of freaked out. The next thing I do if I'm designing a card is I like to offset or inset. I usually inset. So here's my card base and I inset by 1/4 of an inch, right? So I couldn't find my offset button and that really scared me. Come all the way to the left where it says edit, left click, and there's the offset button. Okay, it's there. But let's go up and let's just go through here. Our positioning tools, which used to be way over here, are now here. The rotate button, which used to be right in here somewhere, is now here also. Then we have effects. This is reminding me a little bit of Canva. If you've ever used Canva, It's reminding me a little bit of that layout. Then we have the sticker and the warp along with the offset. The sticker is new, I believe, and we'll delve into that in another video. Now, this is interesting because this combine is what we have over here under combine. All right, so I'm going to click that. You can see that we have the weld in both places, the unite in both places, the subtract in both places, the intersect and the exclude. It's all in both places. I don't know how long that will last or if they're planning on taking it away from over here. I don't know. But right now it's in both places. All right, so the offset still works the same way. You're going to left click and you see our familiar friend pop up. I'm going to go to inset and I can see right here how much it is insetting. Let's go to 0.25, square up the corners, apply, and there it is. All right. All right. Let's come back up here now. We left off here at this, the color square. This is where we're going to change the color. And we can change this now to white. All right. So here's our color square. And I'll make that show up by clicking this one. There we go. Now, this next box is our basic cut box. All right, so we can click here. That's where we can change something to a printing cut or debossing or engraving or foiling, whatever it is you want to do. All right, that's where you're going to do that. Next is your go back and your go forward button. All right, so let's say I decided I didn't want this white. I can go back. Well, I moved it, so I went back, but I can change it back to gray. And I can go back as many times as I want until I save it. Then you can't go back anymore. All right, and here's that edit button again. All right, text. Let's talk about our text. All right, so here it is, text. I'm going to move it over here. Let's just move all of this out of the way. All right, here's our text. So when we click on the text, now we see the choice of our font. All right, what font we would like. Here it is. There, that's familiar, right? Here's our bold, bold italic, writing, so on and so forth. All right, so see how I can change that. All right. Then we have our size of our font. There we go. All right. And then we have the choice to change the width, height, and we can arrange and we can flip it. We probably don't want to flip our text, but we can. Obviously, if you wanted to mirror something, mirror text, you could do that. Now, let's go back a minute. When we were back here on edit, all right, while I have my text selected, I can come up to edit and I can come down to, oh, and look what happens. We get all of this back, our position. Now our font tools start to show up. All right, here's some new things. We can do the position is showing up here now. The rotate is showing up here. We can center, wrap it, line space, letter space, select ungrouping, right? Ungroup to letters, for example. Let's bring that back over. There we go. And now we can do our curve and we can do our warp. All right, so what's our warp? Let's see. This is where we can come in and we can choose one of these warp options. See how it warps it? All right. Okay, so we're going to undo warp. So that's what that warp is. But again, here are your other text options. They're all under edit. You've got to come back to edit to find those. Okay, so this edit tool up here is very important. We really have to remember where that is and remember what's going to come up when we tap it, depending upon what we tap. All right, so let's do this. Let's bring in an image. All right, so image is in the same place, right over here. Left click. Let's bring in a thank you. Okay, so I type in thank you. Let's go down and let's just choose one. Let's choose this one. All right, let's make this go away and let's hit edit for that. Let's see what we can do. Okay, again, we can offset. It says we can warp. Let's warp it and see what happens. We certainly can. We can warp that. All right. Undo. So we can change the position here. We can rotate right here. And we can combine. All right. So that was part of down here, right? Combine. All right. Can hide, and this is where you're going to find your contours, is under this combine. So this is a different combine than down here. This is contour. So this is where we find contour. Hide all contours. We wouldn't want to do that because, well, we hid too much. Let's go back and let's get rid of, let's pick that one up and get rid of that one. There we go. So see, if you hide all contours on this, it's really not going to work. So again, that's not what I want. I can just come back and undo that. Undo, undo. There it is. All right. So again, we're going to click that edit button. Okay. And that's where we're going to find these. So we click this. We'll have our position, our rotate, offset, sticker, warp, and contour. Our contour button is now under edit. You can still duplicate the same way we did before. All right, so we can delete those. We can still group things, right? So we have all of this. I just select it all and I can hit group. That hasn't changed. Let's ungroup this. That hasn't changed. Let's pull this over. Let's turn it white. Let's bring this on. Let's center. Oh, how are we going to center? Well, is that under align right here? There it is. Center. Okay, so it's right there. When I click these two together, we have the option to align. Okay, that's good to know. Our flatten option is still right here. It's still at the bottom right hand. Let's go see if it's under edit also. It is. Flatten. So we can flatten either place. All right, so we've talked about the text, we've talked about the flatten, we've talked about the warp. Is there something I've missed? If there is, let me know in the comments and I will help you with it. Like I said, I was surprised when I woke up and saw this morning, so it sort of threw me for a loop. So I'm just getting the information out to you quickly so that if you need help, you've got a project you're working on and you're confused, I wanted to be here to help you. So there we are. I'll tell you, I'll be singing the David Bowie song all night. Changes. Yep, changes. Wow, this really threw me this morning. But I think I've got it under control. I hope you feel like you've got this under control now. Again, any comments or questions, I'm here for you. This was a wild ride this morning. So let me know if I can help you. And I'll catch up with you in the next video. And maybe we'll have a project in the next one. And we'll use some of these features and these buttons and figure out where everything is. Have a great week. I'll catch up with you soon. Bye.